Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in to Motorsport Factory once again. For those of you who are subscribed, I do appreciate it for you that follow me. For those of you that are new to my channel and first time visiting, welcome to my channel. Today we are back with the 2004 Volvo XC90, and this time we're going to be doing the front, and I want to give you my take on doing the front. The front was a lot easier. When I was actually trying to do the front end the first time, I was given the wrong size rotor, because one of the things you guys have to remember, especially for the front, you guys, just so I let you guys know, because I don't think in any other videos really talk about it, but there's two different size rotors. You have a 316 millimeter and then the 336. So if you were to take a measuring tape and measure from the top to the bottom, measuring tape would be like, you're looking at, I think it's 12.5 inches, and then the 336 is like 13.5, 13.25, something like that. So when I was trying to do this the first time, I had the bigger size. So this is the 316 millimeter. So the 336 won't fit this because the hub holes, they won't line up right. So it's a lot more spread out compared to these ones. So, and the reason why I'm making a video too, because I think in other videos aren't clarifying the easy way to take this anti-rattle clip off. Yeah, you have, you take this portion off right here, but then you have this middle piece you have to also worry about. I'm trying to see what's the best way to attack it from here while holding the camera with one hand. You know the drill, when you're recording something with one hand. And so besides doing these things, there's a piece in the middle that's connected to the pad itself. Let me get in there real quick, see if we can get a good shot of it. It's right there. So you have to separate. I'm trying to remember how I did it last time. I think it was right here is how I did it. Let me get this other screwdriver. As you can see how easily it just popped off. So when you press on it, and then goes the anti-rattle clip hitting my mom's car. So that's pretty much where the pad is. So you have, it's clipped into here. So when you're taking them off, it's always best to, always pop it out from the middle here as well. So otherwise, because the first time I tried to do this car, I was kind of concerned about it. So the next thing is, besides taking the anti-rattle clip off, same concept as the rear, is taking this 10 millimeter loose, but I'm going to hold off on doing this. And the other thing I want to do is, you have two 18 millimeter, you have one here, and then one towards the bottom. Try to get you guys in there to see very clearly. Hopefully you guys can see it, pointing at it. So right there, so there's two 18 millimeter bolts. Hopefully when I get a new camera, I'm planning on getting the Panasonic HX-A500, which is going to be a lot easier to use and hopefully better quality. Not that this camera is a bad quality, but I just think the software to this camera is, it could be better. But anyway, so when you take those two 18 millimeter bolts off, then you're able to slide this caliper whole thing off, because the caliper and this mounting, everything is pretty much mounted together. So there's no separate caliper bolt, and you just take those two 18 millimeters off, boom, and then get you some cord to hold this down to the strut. So this is where I'm going to mount it to, and then we're going to, after that, once I have this secured, then I'm going to take the 10 millimeter bolt nut off, and then remove the rotor. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Oh, before, I almost forgot. Make sure proper lifting procedures, always important. And then same thing with the wheel. When you take the wheel off, 19 millimeter, and you know the rest. All right, so I'll be right back. All right, guys. So we're back, and got all the components pretty much off. I got the rotor. caliper hopefully stays secure. It's one of those cheapy bungee cords, but so this side, this whole hub area isn't as bad as the rears. When I was doing the rears, it was really rusted up, and I had to hammer it off. For those of you who have been watching me on the rear ones, because the customer was complaining again that he had to press down on the brakes too far in, and then once I fixed that whole issue, it went away, and he's a lot happier now. So again, make sure that you don't let the rotors go too far deep in creating a groove and too big of a lip here, right? So otherwise you're going to be fighting with it. So get my trusty little freeze off. You know, that's my favorite little friend. And I'm just going to spray around here, scrub it down with my wire brush, just to kind of make a nice clean layer. And then at the same time, it looked like somebody had put anti-seize on this before, and I'm gonna clean it up, put a clean coat on it, and then after that, then we're gonna put the new rotor on, and I'm gonna do some inspections. I noticed that this strut here is got some leaks, so I'm gonna let the customer know about that and see what he says, if he wants to change those or not. Okay, so basically all you got to do is clean this up. And you know what? It's funny is I forgot to mention in the rear brakes for this car that if you're having a tough time getting it off, you can always open up the bleeder screw and then push the piston in. I didn't do that, and I was just kind of being lazy about it. So that way the piston will be able to push in a lot easier compared to not having the bleeder screw open. So I'm going to go ahead and spray some little freeze off here. Again, this side isn't as bad as the rears were. The rears, I was really having to fight with it, you know. So, alright, so what I'm going to do, make sure you have also make sure you have this drain so it doesn't dirty up your driveway. So I'm going to do is I'm going to just stop the recording here, and then I'm going to clean this all up. And then just follow the reverse procedures, you know, just put the new rotor on after you put the anti-seize compound on. And then put the new rotor on, put that 10mm bolt on, and just pretty much follow the reverse steps and you should be good to go. Alright guys, so I'll be right back in a little bit. Alright guys, so we got the the rotor on. And now we got the caliper unmounted from the bungee cord. So it's going to be a little difficult trying to fight with this thing. The best thing to do is when you're taking the pads off, use a flathead screwdriver and just kind of go from the back end here and just start prying on it. Once you get this out, it'll be a lot easier to pull the this one out, and just do the same thing. Once you got the old pads off, then just put the new pads on. So in this case, the pads are pretty decent looking. But, you know, since we're putting new rotors on, one of the things you always have to remember, when you put new rotors on, you got to put new pads along with it. You can't use old pads with new rotors. It just won't work. Because whatever grooves are in there, it's going to start making grooves into the rotor itself. And it's, you know, it's just not going to look nice, you know. And then you're probably going to be machining the rotors down more often than you would need to be. So once you get the new pads off and then get some new pads in, and then after you got the new pads in, actually before you put the new pads in, you want to push in the piston to make sure there's enough space for everything. So I'm going to show that in a second. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright guys, so got the pads off and got the C-clamp on. So this is kind of the position you'd have to go through this hole in order to get to here, to get to push in the piston itself. You know, make sure you got, this is apparently, I think, 6 inches, a 6-inch C-clamp, I think that's what it was called. But you want to get a big enough C-clamp to make sure you get enough space to go here to here. One of the things I like about this C-clamp, it has a quick release right here, and then you push down and then you just pull on. As you're pushing down on this, you pull on it and stuff like that. So it just makes the job a lot easier instead of winding it out and winding it back in. So once you got that in, and just take your time, you know, pushing the piston in. And also remember to always double check your fluid. Make sure it's not too. If it gets too high, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some fluid out, because I'm gonna do a brake flush on this thing anyway. So because you don't want too much fluid to be coming out. So again, the same thing with all 4 wheels. Every wheel that I do, I always hit the brake pedal and push the piston back in, and then I go to the next wheel. So that way, at least some of the fluid can settle back down. Because if you don't push down on the brake pedal, you may have more fluid leaking than you want it to be. You don't want to mess on the ground either. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So I'm gonna push the piston in, and I'm gonna put the pads in, and then I'm gonna put this the caliper back on as well after I'm done with all that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. So this procedure is pretty much the same thing once you're done with this side. So, all right, so I'm gonna push the stuff back in, and then I'm gonna tidy everything back up, and then I'll be right back. All right, guys, so we're pretty much done with this brake job. All right, so everything went a lot more smooth compared to the rears I was doing just a week ago. And don't forget to, before I forget, put the anti-rattle clips back on. So make sure, like, this little tab right here, that fits into the little slot too. So so usually what I do is I go in here and try to get it in. It's not easy doing everything with one hand, as you know. So you know the drill. The same way it came off, make sure that this little portion catches the back of where it's going to be fitting here, and then come on. So you can also push down on this part of the tab, and then put it back on once you do. It's a little difficult doing it with one hand right now. So the other thing is, I'm going to be doing a brake flush. I'm not going to actually be doing it in this video, but so if you're kind of wondering where the bleeder screw is, it's right here. And if you guys are in the market of finding a one-man brake bleeder, this Sneed for Speed is definitely a tool that's really worth it. I've been searching one for years, instead of using vacuum pumps and stuff like that. And this is approximately 20 bucks, and then 20 bucks is shipping, which is a little expensive to ship this bottle. But to give you guys a little quick overview, it's got a one-way check valve. So when you're just pumping, as soon as you crack open the bleeder, you just keep pumping it, and the fluid will come out, and air will just pretty much just come out of here. And just go to Sneed for Speed's website, sneedforspeed.com. You can get one of these. Just you guys can tell them I sent you guys, and just let them know that it's Faraz from Motorsport Factory. I'm not necessarily affiliated with them or anything. I mean, it'd be kind of nice, but I'm just recommending a brake bleeder for those of you guys are in the market for one. All right, guys. So I'm gonna end the video here, and if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you can always comment on the comment section below, or you can always email me, and I'll do my best to help you guys out. Though I do appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my video, and if you have any suggestions, ideas, and repair videos you guys need help with, let me know, and I'll do my best to help you guys out. And once again, thank you guys for tuning into Motorsport Factory, and we'll see you guys in my next video. Alright, you guys have a good one.